and found that fewer animal products are eaten, but less death was occurred from heart disease, cancer, and so forth. Similarly, Dean Ornish in the United States showed that they could reverse heart disease by these diets. Obviously, it's a vulnerable situation to occur, but we've really got to get some hard thinking on the nature of the diets and improving health generally to stop these conditions, particularly in Australia, where heart disease is still #1 killer, and it ought not to be so.
Thank you. Now, I'm conscious of the fact it's now 5 to 9. I am going to draw a close on this, and this is actually going to be the last question, I'm sorry. I'd ask that you keep it brief and we get through. Thank you.
Firstly, before I begin, I'd like to implore everybody gathered in the decorum this evening to vote no to the Constitutional Recognition Campaign, to recognise the scam that this government has waged on our people. How can anybody gathered here tonight to pretend to acknowledge, to pay respects to our people, when we don't even have any representation to any politics or any policies that afflict any of us? My question is for the member of Sydney, is that what will they do for the 17,000 children locked in community protective services, a corporation that $1 billion a year are spent annually? Thank you.
I think that's a question for you, Tanya.
No, member of Sydney.
I disagree with you on the constitutional recognition. I think it is an important next step. And we have introduced a justice target. We've said we would introduce a justice target if we were re-elected, because it's completely wrong that a young Indigenous man has more chance of being incarcerated than going to university. This government's cut $560 million from Indigenous services. Tony Abbott, who said he was the Prime Minister for Indigenous Australians, cut $560 million. That's from family violence prevention services, it's from Aboriginal legal services, it's from community legal services. We've said that we would restore the funding for legal services, but of course it's way beyond legal services. We've got to start with very young children, and it goes from proper preschool. When we were in government, we expanded preschool education to every community in Australia, so every 4-year-old could have some prior to school learning, so that kids start school happy and confident in their learning. It means better, more appropriate schooling, where kids feel supported and welcomed. It means housing that is not overcrowded, so families can have a decent quality of life. It means decent health services. They've also been cut by the Liberal government. It's a $560 million cut, and it will take us some time to repair a lot of the damage. We were talking a little bit earlier about land, and it is really obviously central to this question, and I was very pleased to see that the Larrakia claim was agreed just today or yesterday, I think. That started in 1979, that claim. We've got to do much better in that respect as well.
Ladies and gentlemen,
one local thing, just one little local point I wanted to make. You know that the gym in Redfern, Mundines, has to move because of the building going on there. We have also said as a local commitment we'd pay for its relocation for the time that it has to be relocated until it can move back to its usual spot.
thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's been an incredible evening. I'd like to thank all of our candidates for participating tonight. On behalf of the Alexandria Residents Action Group, Friends of Erskineville and Redwash, thank you all for participating and staying with us. We hope this has been of assistance to you to decide who to vote for on July the 2nd. If you would like more information about any of our groups, please come and see the representatives. I will also draw your attention to the fact that there are some postcards at the front that you can send to the Minister's Office about Central to Everleigh. And also Eco Transit has left a flyer on how you can submit an objection to the Metro. It gives you some interesting information. If I could ask you to, please, if you wouldn't mind, stacking some of the chairs at the back as you go. Not everyone has to do that, but that would help. But can I ask you to put your hands together for our candidates tonight, because